Hello. Alright, I think we're back up again. So today I'm going to be finishing up what we were doing last time, which is unmolding the first squishy version of our SCP-99. I did go ahead and do one, but this silicone that I used was a little bit too firm. I can show you here. So this is a silicone version of him, but it's very firm and not very good. So this is our base. So if I ever need to make another mold, this is what we're going to base it on. But this is the first genuinely squishy one. I had to order some silicone that is softer. They come in different types of shore hardnesses and stuff, so if you get a much softer one, they're better for like the fake either prosthetics or for like fake movie pieces or not cosmetic, like costume pieces and stuff. Now this may be a little tacky. I have to, because it's silicone on silicone, you have to use a ton of a release spray, which tends to make the edges a little bit tacky in the mold. But usually if you rinse it off after a bit, it'll dry out, won't be a problem. Some people powder them and stuff, but hold on, let me move my thing here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pull this out of the mold. So he's going to be a little tacky, but that's fine. And the last little arm there. Now I did make him a bit too red. Yeah, you can probably see he's a little sticky. But yeah, not too bad. He'll dry out in a bit. Whoops. But he's very squishy. From this point, he'll just, I don't know if he can still hold the lollipop. Might be a little too soft for that. Yeah, so I may have to rethink the lollipop a bit. But he came out pretty good. I think our mold's pretty nice. And I can paint his eyes, but he's nice and squishy. I don't know exactly when I'll put him on the shop. Like I said, I'll have to paint his eyes with the pigment stuff. And I'll have to make sure that he fully dries out and is, you know, able to be shipped safely. The only issue with stuff like this is it does collect dust pretty well. But they're perfectly waterproof, so you can wash them off. But yes, hopefully we will have these little guys in the shop soon. As always, I did put the credits in for the SCP in the description because I looked up the copyrights on SCP and you're allowed to use it for pretty much anything so long as you credit the original writer and creator of the creature. So if you want to see that, you can look in the link that I put in the description. That'll take you to the SCP wiki page for this little guy. But I think he's pretty cute. I'm pretty happy with him. He's nice and squishy. But yeah, this is what's it called? I call it BB Dino, but I don't know. It's BB Dino. That's the silicone brand I typically use. This is their super soft silicone, and it's perfect for stuff like this because it's firm enough that it holds its shape, but it's super floppy and squishy. So yeah, I'm going to rinse him off, maybe powder a bit, get the tackiness to go away, and then we'll paint his eyes black, and hopefully the next one I will do better with the coloration, so he will be a bit more orangey and a little less red, but he's pretty decent, I think. This is my base one. As you can see, this is the silicone I use for molds. It's much firmer. Like, it's got some flexibility to it, but it's not nearly as squishy and flexible as this. So hopefully I will be selling these soon, but it'd probably be another week or two before that happens. So hopefully I can make another cast of him. But anyway, I just wanted to finish up last time's figurine. But aside from this, if I put him aside, hold on, let's put the little guy over here. What we're actually going to be doing for most of today is we're going to be working on doing some inserts. I don't want to spend too much time today because I'm very tired today, but we're going to be working on some scene inserts for larger dice because I wanted to do some more of those. Here's an example of one that I did. It is a, let's see if I can get it closer to the camera. It's a half and half, so half underwater, half in the sky. There's some bubbling issues at the top, but I did a scene with the ship. If you can see the ship, and then there's a kraken under the water. So I want to do some more land scenes, so we'll be sculpting the bases for those today. I want to redo one of my portal designs that I've done a few times, so we'll start with that. But basically we're going to be using larger dice with some cool scenes and some other stuff. Sometimes with these I'll do a mix of sculpted and 3D printed. It depends on what I'm doing, because like the ship, there was no way I could sculpt something that detailed that tiny. If I can sculpt it, I usually prefer to do that because people seem to like that better. And it's also difficult for me to find models that are either copyright free or for me to personally 3D model them. I can, but it's not easy. So I did bring the blank mold that I have just so I can have a reference for the size of the base that we're going to do. But we're going to start with this up here. So we're going to start with the portal that I like to do. I've done this one a couple times. But it's always like a little stone portal with usually summer on one side and winter on the other. I've done this design a couple times and I've always liked it. It always turns out pretty. So let's get a base going here. And this is a pretty good size for the base shape as well. Good size reference. Let me check something real quick. All right. I don't know why my hands are itching all of a sudden. Alright. I used lotion on them a few minutes ago, but I don't know why. Hopefully I am not suddenly allergic to it. That happens a lot, unfortunately. Hold on. Okay. I need to check something real quick. Okay. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead and get our base shape done here. Thinking about, I had one that I did a while ago. I didn't like the way it turned out very well, but I was trying to do like a graveyard scene, so we might try that as well. Now, a lot of this I won't necessarily finish now. For example, this is just going to be the sculpting section, so we'll do the base, we'll do the basic shapes and things, but I have like grass flocking and miniature pieces and stuff that we can do a whole miniature scene with. That's actually what I had originally intended when I got into doing the larger dice, because I like doing miniature scenes. It's very satisfying. Hold on. Okay, that's about the right width. Now this insert is slightly smaller than the actual D20. You can probably see that. But it's close in size. So we can base it off this. So this will be the ground stone and grass base that we start with. I think I want to make it a little bit taller. There we go. Okay, so that's our initial base that we're going to work off of. So the design that I tend to do with the portal is from edge to edge, I do a rough stone archway, which I will need to judge the height on this. In one side, I usually put clear UV resin in between, so I can do like a sparkly, slightly hazy color in the center, and then I can have the two different seasons on either side. But this is one of the designs I came up with a while ago, and I've always loved it, so I wanted to do it again. Kind of see where we're going with this. We're building our little archway. Thankfully, stone patterns are incredibly easy to accomplish with clay. Doesn't require too much technical skill to make a bunch of little different shaped rocks. Okay, how high can we go with this? We need to start making the arch real soon. Alright. No, stay on your spot. Stay on there. This is the less sturdy way to do it, but I think that it looks cooler in the long run. If you make a if you make an archway and then carve the stone pattern, it's a little more sturdy than this, but I don't like the fact that you can't accomplish the same level of detail as you can if you do individual pieces together. Okay. Alright, that should be a decent enough. Okay. Let's make the base a tiny bit smaller. Alright, so there's our archway. Hold on. I want to do it like that. There we go. So now we have a stone archway. And what I usually do, because I did this very like Heron style, I'll put some crumbled little rocks here at the edge. Maybe some over here. Yeah, and these type designs are going to be very mixed media. So I do most of it with the sculpting, but I'm probably going to add a lot of like actual stone, and then we'll do grass blocking, and then I'll have some other details and such. Hold on. I think I'm eyeballing the shape here. I always keep the size die that I'm working with. Okay, so that's perfect. But yeah, so we will be doing, basically I'll lay it down on something and I'll do a thin film of UV resins, like slightly hazy or maybe a little sparkly. And then I think this will be our summer side. So on the summer side, I'm going to add a few little mushrooms. Tiny little mushrooms. We're going to sculpt this with the toothpick. And at this scale, I think I will just paint the details on the mushrooms instead of trying to do like the toadstool details, because it's a little too fragile to do that. Okay, let's do, oops. Let's do a little tiny one. Yeah, I meant to be a little more prepared for today, so I'm gonna, might take me a second to come up with more ideas. I might just go to the graveyard one after this, because this one is not, there's not a ton of detail that I have to do with it. There we go. Little tiny mushroom. Here we can see we have a little tiny thing of mushrooms at the edge there. Got some scattered stones. And I think I will go ahead and do a slight ribbing here so you can see where the pathway is going to go. It will not be terribly visible on the snow side. There we go. Now you can see where I slightly made an indentation for the pathway to go through. We could do a cobblestone pathway. That might be interesting. If I smooth that out a tad more and then put some cobblestone pattern. Oh, that might be too busy. I don't... we'll see. If I don't like it, I can always smooth it over. But yeah, we'll have grass and moss and stuff growing on the portal itself and on either side. And then, of course, I will add the snowy details, mostly with paint at this scale. At a larger scale, you can actually use, I'm trying to think, it's either baking soda or baking powder mixed with glue is a really effective snow. I never remember which one it is, but if you look it up, you can find it. But it's a very convincing snow texture. I don't know if that would react with the resin, so I won't do that for this. But if you're doing like train miniatures or D&D like map stuff and you need snow, just grab some, whichever one it was. I'm not sure if it's baking powder or baking soda, but you can grab that out of the kitchen, mix it with some glue, some white glue, just like the cheap school stuff, and you can make some really cool snow patterns that way. Because I've done some cool little miniatures where I used that before and it looked pretty awesome. Very, very realistic snow pattern. I think I did solve my internet problem. It was actually an issue with one of the devices communicating to my modem, or a router modem gateway thing. So I think I have solved it because the internet has not gone out since I did a whole bunch of troubleshooting. I'm not sure exactly which solution worked, but I did narrow the problem down to my Nintendo Switch specifically. But it seems to have solved the issue, so yeah, my Nintendo Switch was killing my internet. Trying to think if we need any more details before I call this good, because like I said, a lot of the detail on this particular piece will be after the baking process and such. Now I might put some footprints in the snow on this side. That'd be kind of cool whenever I do the snow. And I'll probably have the snow melting slightly on the stones of the road. Alright. Oh, and I forgot my brush. I always do, whenever I do stones, I always take a paintbrush and poke the clay a little bit so it gives it a pitted type pattern, and that creates a really realistic stone pattern. You won't notice it too much in the sculpting process, but when you go through to paint, and you do like a base coat that's a really dark gray or a black, and then you do the white and gray over top, then you really pick up the pitted pattern, and it makes a very realistic stone. Kind of carve this out a bit here. Yeah. And I will add little bits of moss and grass on this stone pathway. Alright, so here's what we have. Here's our portal. We got some stones on this side. This is going to be the winter side. And then this is going to be the summer side. Those are mushrooms. You can't really tell, but when I paint them, I'll paint them bright colors. Now I'm trying to see if I can bring some rocks out on the winter side. I might be able to do some icicles. But I don't know if icicles will pick up terribly well. Yeah, I don't think the icicles are going to really show up very well on the portal base. All right. Okay. Let me grab a paintbrush. That one's not stiff enough. Hold on, I gotta get my stuff out here. Where's my paintbrush? So in order to do this, you need a really stiff paintbrush. Regular ones don't work very well because they're too soft. So you need one with like the stiff, nasty, like plasticky bristles. Ones with the really stiff plastic bristles work great for this. Let's anchor this a little better. Now with this side, because I can't use my normal snow technique, I might add some clay lumps over top of stuff to accomplish the snow appearance, because I will paint that a little later. It'll look a little weird at this stage, but we'll see. Because paint is usually enough for like, I think, the cobblestone sections, but these rocks here I kind of want to have There we go. And it can only be on this side, because the other side is going to be summer. Now I have some tiny little miniature flowers too that I might, whoops, we messed up our mushrooms. That's fine. Let me have some larger pieces here to kind of cover parts of the cobblestone on the side like this, and we'll just blend it in this side because usually snow melts a bit more on stone. Yeah. And we'll dust it with like some paint stuff is when I do the white paint, but I want to achieve a little bit of the lumpy kind of smoothed out snow texture. Get in there. I think I'm going to accomplish the rest of the snow texture on top with just the paint, because that should be enough, but I want to do a little more on the base here because it usually be a little heavier down here. Okay. You probably can't see the difference too much on the camera when I show you here in a second, but it will make a difference when I paint it. There we go. Yeah, I don't even think you can tell, but basically I just added some smooth, almost like caps on the top of a couple of the rocks. Alright, I think that's good for our portal. I do have some little tiny flowers that I'll probably add. I'll do grass and paint, of course, but that's our portal. Let's go ahead and do another base that we can do a scene on. I'm not really sure what scene to do on this one, but I want to do a couple of these, at least 3 maybe. And we can always use this one for a water base too if I want to do another water scene. I'm trying to think what would be a good scene to do. I could try to repeat the graveyard and do that better. Come on. All right. I could try to do maybe a Halloween scene, but I don't think I'll have it done. I won't have it done by Halloween. I might, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if I have it done by then. I mean, creepy does always sell. Creepy and cute are the two things that always sell. But I'm reluctant to do something and be like, oh, I don't know. Oh, you know what I could do? I'm gonna do this. I have a really great idea. I'm gonna do a dragon with a horde. That'd be pretty cool. Okay. That's perfect. Okay, that's a perfect base. Alright, that's about the right size. Okay. Yeah, so if I do a lump in the center that we form our piles of gold on, I think that will be pretty cool. Alright. Let's do it like this. And this I do think I'm going to carve rather than individually sculpt, because it would take forever to do. I've done individual gold coins this size before and I hated it, and they ended up getting smashed anyway, so it's like, well, I might as well just sculpt it like this. It'd just be easier. Okay. Or carve it, I guess, basically into the clay instead of... Alright, let's do tiny little scatterings of things and stuff. Right, now it looks a little weird, but this is just the base. We're gonna sculpt and add and make this look more appropriately sized and stuff. We've got to get our dragon's horde done first, and then we will sculpt the dragon and put him on top. Okay, so I'm gonna do lines across it here. And then I'll go through and try to do more individual details. At this scale, I mean, it wouldn't actually look that detailed. The color is going to make the big difference, but we'll see how much we can do. Okay, I have an idea. If I take my little tiny rounded tip here and start doing little dots all the way around on every ledge, downward and out, I might be able to achieve a very coin-like pattern, maybe? Mm. I can see I'm giving it texture for our hoard of gold and jewels. Alright. It's not the most perfect texture, but I think it'll work for us. Like I said, at this scale, it would kind of look like this. It would not... You're not going to see individual coins at this scale, really. Okay. Now let's start on our dragon. I'm going to try to do a bit more realism than I typically do with the dragons. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and put the dragon on the thing here, so I have, let me see, how do I want him? Yeah, I think we'll do it like this. That way I can have a firm base that he's attached to that I can start working from to make his head shape better without risking ruining the rest of his body. That is one nice thing when you're putting something on a base like this, is that you can use the base as a firm holding piece or back, because when you use your hands you end up smashing the underside of the clay. So here it's like a nice firm base for me to sculpt and work on his head here. Okay, sorry, I need to get better at making sure my stuff is actually in frame on the camera. I was editing my water leaper video the other day and I realized I have such a bad habit of pulling things out of frame. It's because I'm a little bit nearsighted, so it's like easier for me to work with it directly in front of my face. But thankfully I can lean forward a bit more and I'm still not in the way of the camera. Okay. Alright, let's see. Nostril should be right about there. And right about there. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's do some little side pieces on his head here. Now you can see where we're going with this. Alright. Bend that horn back. Attach it better. I'm surprised I never thought of this design before. Okay, so now we gotta do the legs. So I think we'll do like this, then flatten it, rounded end here, flatten the end. Alright. Okay, needs to be bigger. This one looks a little bigger. Yeah, I'll put the horn back up. I guess this should actually be like rolled under. Hold on. So I think for perspective, this should actually be rolled under. So I should probably just attach a piece here and then have it go like under the body, because I think that's going to look more accurate to how he would be laying. Because like when a cat lays like that, they have their one arm tucked under their body. They're laying on top of it. So this needs to go under the base here. Like that. Because he would be lying on top of that leg. And then his other leg would be visible here. A little more definition to where this attaches, a little more shoulder muscle kind of appearance. Point that a bit more. Okay, there's his one visible leg. Okay, I think. Okay, so now we have that leg around it. I think it's gonna actually look pretty cool. I like this idea. I'm really shocked I never thought of it before, as much as I like doing dragons. Alright, so then I think the back leg should probably be about there. And again, this one's going to be curled under so we won't see it. This is like the best position to do a dragon in, because then I get to be lazy and only do one leg. And then the legs don't have to match. It's great. It's a nice way to cheat. It's kind of like when you draw and you're really bad at drawing hands, so you just always put everybody's hands in their pockets. Or you can't make the eyes match, so everybody looks emo and has one half of their face hidden by bangs. Hopefully I'm not the only person who does that. It's like I have so much patience, and then I can't get the left eye to look the same as the right eye, so I just cover up one of them. Everyone is emo when I can't draw. Oh, and I didn't comment on it, though I did make a comment in the video that I redid my loading screen. I know my artwork's not the best. I'm not the best at digital, but I thought it looked cute, so I'm still working on trying to improve my layout, setup, everything. So I want to see if I can come up with some basic little tunes that I can use as the loading screen and as just BGM, so that I don't have to worry about the copyright stuff. I know there's places that you can get perfectly copyright free, but it's kind of a pain, because some of this stuff, it's like, well, it's copyright free for YouTube, but if I want to post it somewhere else, then I gotta change it. And I want to attempt doing the dual streaming thing again, now that I think I have solved the internet. I'm not doing it just yet, but it's like, if I have solved the internet thing, then I'm ready to try that again. Okay, the leg needs to be a little bigger. And I want to, I want to be able to have music that I can use on both ends and not just one or the other. Okay. There we go. We got the basic body done. I think that's pretty cool. And this should be, yep, should fit in pretty well. So now we're gonna do a line of a ridge down the dragon's back here. So we're gonna make a really thin, little paper thin clay piece here. Okay. Usually when you get this thin, it's extremely difficult to not ruin the piece. Okay. So now we're going to attach this to the forehead. There we go. All right. Do not worry, I shall smooth this out better. I'm just doing the initial attachment points. All right, now get off there. So now we're going to smooth this out a bit. There we go. So now we have a spine, kind of a ridge down his spine. See if I hold him closer to the camera, will it focus for me? There we go. We're almost done. I think I will attempt to add some wings here. The wings always stress me out because I feel like I'm gonna ruin him somehow. Okay, so we'll do basic triangles first, because then we're gonna do the folded wings look, so it'll be. Let me think. Hold on. I want to pull up a reference from someone else just to double check how folded wings, because like I know how I think I would do them, but I'm scared to mess them up. Okay. Yeah, so they're usually actually almost like ridged up wings, like this, or angled with his body, so like that, but smaller. So let's do this, and like that, and then alright, we need to extend this a tad more and then pull it out because we want it to be super thin. It's like accordion style wings almost because they're folded up here. Let me I don't like that wing. He might be wingless, we'll see. I'm not liking the way the wing turned out. I mean, we could also do the larger like wings that go over like this. But then that hides so much of his body. I really don't want to do that. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah, I think we'll do that. It's a little simpler, but it works. There we go. So we got one wing on him now. I can hold that up here and let you see it. Come on, camera. There we go. Okay. And then the other wing's kind of under the body again, so Or I guess technically it would be out slightly. So we'll just do this real quick. So I'm just making basically a little half circle and then drawing or pressing lines into it to create the ridged effect for the folded wings. There we go. So now we have wings on the back here. Come on, camera. Now the question is, now I should go ahead and do, so we're going to do the little dots for the scales. The scaly texture here. There we go. I think we're almost done with this little guy. I'm just debating. Like, do we want to do more details on the side of his hoard? We could do... see, I feel like swords and things might be a little too tiny because I want it to be kind of large feeling. But maybe I should try to do something like that to achieve a scale effect, you know? Because right now we don't really have a great reference for scale. You know, you can't really tell how large he is. Come on. Camera focus. Behave. There we go. Let's see if we can do a tiny little tiny sword maybe here on the edge. Okay. There we go. I sculpted a tiny little sword on the end. I don't think you can see it. But it's there. You'll probably see it when I paint it next week. Although I don't know if I'm going to paint these on video. We'll see. I will definitely post them on TikTok in the shop, but my Etsy shop. But I don't know if I might paint these before then. We'll see. Now, let's see. Is there anything else tiny I could make? Maybe a little shield. That would be a nice touch, like a little shield right here. Half buried in gold. Yeah. Well, that was loud. Yeah, that may get lost in the details, but we'll see. I don't think I can do a skull at this scale. That'd really be pushing it. The sword is honestly a little too large, if I'm being perfectly honest, for what I intended this scale to be. But I don't think it will be distinctly a sword if I do it too much tinier. We might be done with this one. This might be it. Some rough rock texture here. Alright, let me see that fits perfectly in the D20. Yeah, I think that's it for this one. I think that's pretty cool. I think we're good. So now we have our portal. We have our dragon. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do. Or if I want to end it here. I kind of wanted to make 3 rather than 2. But I think this one's pretty cool. I think I did well with that one. So this might be it. I'm trying if I can come up with another idea of one that I'd like to do. But I'm really tired. I think I might just call it here. I think that's sufficient for today. I went a little over an hour. That's not a very long one, but you know. But we got a lot done. We did get our little guy unmolded. I'm gonna clean him off real quick so he won't be so tacky, but he's pretty cute. We'll paint his eyes, and then hopefully he'll be on the shop soon. But he's pretty flappy, pretty stretchy. We got him done. So we did that. We did a new portal D20. We'll paint this up next time. I'll definitely save these for next week. I think that'll be better. And then I'll paint our dragon next week as well. And then I can cast these in larger D20s. I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I think I'll call it today because I'm very tired and I have stuff that I need to do still. So, if you watch this video, I greatly appreciate it. I am still working on improving, you know, my setup and everything I do. I know it's a bit amateur and it's a bit messy at times because I don't really know what I'm doing. But I am doing my best. I will keep improving it. I greatly appreciate any interactions I get. If you see my videos, I will do edited versions. Hopefully these, I don't know if the edited versions of these will necessarily appear on YouTube. They will definitely appear on TikTok, because that's where I do most of those. But I do appreciate any interaction you gave, and thank you so much for watching if you got this far.